Okay.
So,
Oh, you want? Okay. Let's do it. Sorry.
alright.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Chun.
I want to know more about you.
About me. Well,
Yeah.
my name is William Cedeño, and I'm from Venezuela.
Yeah.
Grew up in SFCMC. If some of you guys have heard of it. And yeah, I've been playing the flute since I was 10 years old. Originally started with cello for about 2 weeks, and then decided to switch to flute. And well, my grandfather was one of my inspirations to begin my musical career since he was a percussionist, and mostly for jazz and traditional like salsa and folk music back in Venezuela. So yeah, that's how I became a musician.
Yeah. So your grandpa inspired you to be a musician.
Yeah, it's kind of like he was more into the fun, sexy jazz nightclub type of music, and then I was somehow directed to the more classical aspect of it. But it's still really fun. I don't play much of jazz flute, but
But don't you wish you were
I
a
wish
jazz
I
musician?
yeah, I would love to play jazz. There's not a lot of jazz music for flute that is super fun, but I have played jazz a couple of times, but not enough for me to say that I'm a jazz flutist or something.
Yeah, but I mean, I bet you can learn it if you want.
It'll be fun. It'll take me a long time to learn it, but improvising the flute comes naturally sometimes when you do a lot of South American music, and it's basically like Latin jazz. But I haven't done a lot of other type of jazz.
Yeah, but still very cool. So I noticed that one really fun fact for most people, like when we rehearse, sometimes you don't even write things down. And I asked you, I was like, Will, why don't you write things down? And you were like, oh, well, I already got them up here. So how did that, connect?
Well, I have this weird kind of like photographic memory when it comes to music, and I think I've been doing music for so long. It's kind of like my first language in a way, and it's all I did since I was 10 years old. And I just have this fascination whenever I'm writing things on my music. I just kind of write it, and then when I play it, I don't read it. So now it just become like every time someone said something about the music, I just kind of do like a mental note. And a few bars before I get to that passage, my brain is really good by like giving me flashes into what the note is going to be. The funny part about that is that I have a terrible memory for everything else. I can't remember people's names. I can't remember anyone's phone number, birth dates, or anything like that. So I think it's just the fact that my world revolves so much into music that it comes very easily for me to understand something that I want to make sure that it sticks in my brain. And then everything else kind of comes secondary, and it's hard for me to keep it in my brain. But music, luckily, it's easy for me to like memorize pieces and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of fun.
Music like took probably 99% of your brain capacity.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and I can definitely attest to that because he does remember everything I told him, even though he didn't write it down. So it's all connected very quickly inside of your brain. So that's very cool.
If it works, it works, I guess.
Yeah, now you just need to shift it,
Do everything else, and I can still remember everything else.
That would be perfect.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah. So anyway, so nice to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here, and I hope you guys have fun listening to whatever things I say about flute and music in my brain.
Yeah, so, we'll try to remember those. All right, bye.
Cool.